Hi, Lonnie Mackley here. I just want to talk to you today a little bit about some important recovery truths that have helped me over the years, and I think they can help you. And when somebody recovers, they kind of learn things along the way that God teaches them, and the more that we can learn from people as they go along, the faster we can recover. And um, I've recovered because God has taught me a lot of things, and He's helped me to learn some things from other people, and so I hope that these things can help you too. And so let's just get right to it. The first truth that might help you is excess pleasure always creates excess pain. When you understand this concerning addiction, then you'll understand that whenever you decide to overindulge in something, there's going to be pain that automatically comes with it. There's no way that you can overeat long enough and not have pain to have to take that weight back off, or there's no way you can overindulge in an addiction and then not have to go through physical or psychological withdrawals or face the consequences, the painful consequences of what that binge cost you. So just remember always that whatever excess pleasure you indulge in, it will create excess pain. So just consider that when you're doing it. Number two, abuse your freedom, lose your freedom. This is always the case that I've seen, especially in recovery. I used to help run a recovery home, and anybody that abused their freedom, they would always lose it. They would always end up going to jail or getting some kind of restriction placed upon them, and that's the way life works, and that's the way God has set it up, that if we use our freedom in the right way and we don't, break the rules, then we get to keep that freedom and move on. But when we start breaking the rules, you can better believe that you'll start losing the freedom that you have. And it's very hard to understand why all of a sudden with an addiction everybody's stepping in and taking control of our life. Well, because we're showing out of control behavior, control will step in. So that's another truth: abuse your freedom, lose your freedom. And I've seen it happen every time. So just keep that in mind. Number three, seek and you shall be slimed. What I mean by that is that if you start looking for gratification for a need in the wrong way, you're going to find it, and it's going to defile you. It's like surfing on the internet. If you start, surfing around for porn or playing around with things because you're bored or because for whatever reason, you're going to find what you're looking for, and it will defile you spiritually, and it will hurt your life. So just understand that before you start surfing or seeking, that it's going to defile you, and it's going to make you feel spiritually dirty. You've probably noticed that after you've had a porn surfing session or whatever, that you feel dirty. Well, that's why you're spiritually, it's like rubbing spiritual mud or feces all over yourself. That's what it does. So don't seek unless you expect to be slimed. Number four, if you don't starve the lie, it won't die. I'm a recovery counselor. I've done it before many years, and one of the main problems that I've seen that keep people from recovering is that they will not starve the lie. In other words, let's just use porn again as an example. Pornography is a lie. It's sexual cheating. It's like a sexual shortcut. And when you don't starve that, when you keep thinking about those things in your head that you've seen, or whatever, that addiction is not going to die. So whatever your addiction is, if you're not willing to starve it in thought and deed, then don't expect it to die, because it won't. You're going to have to be the one to starve that thing to death. And once you make a firm decision to stop thinking about it in your bed at night, to stop practicing it, then it will start dying in your life, and your life will automatically seek the right kind of gratification for that pleasure in the absence of the wrong gratification. And, which leads me to number five, right need, right gratification. Once again, we'll use sex as an example. Pornography is the wrong gratification to the right need of needing a sexual release. And a lot of times the reason that we run into problems is that we're trying to meet right needs in wrong ways. And you may have emotional needs, you may have sexual needs, you may have spiritual needs, and you need to be able to identify that the needs are there and find the right ways to meet those needs that God created for you, and to stop meeting them in the wrong ways, because meeting right needs in wrong ways never really satisfies. It's like trying to drink salty water. It just will never quench your thirst. So identify the right needs that you have. Don't ignore them. And find out the right ways of meeting those needs. If you can't meet them right away, then learn to endure. Number 6, if you think it long enough, you will eventually do it. And it never fails that if you've got like a chemical imbalance, or you're going through withdrawals, if you sit there and think about it long enough, and like late at night or whatever, you will do it. And it all starts in your brain. Give it an inch and it takes 10,000 miles. And so you've got to discipline your brain with the truth. It's the truth that sets you free based on God's word. So you've got to keep telling yourself the truth when the lie is trying to get into your head. And you've got to take control of your thought life, because that's a control center for everything that goes on in your life. So if you think it, you're going to end up doing it. So don't think it. Number 7, if you can't meet a need, keep it as small as possible. And what I mean by that is, like sexual needs, for example. Maybe you have a sexual perversion problem, whatever it is, and you can't meet that need in the right way, because you have a problem with sexual perversion, or maybe you're not married, or whatever it is. Then you're going to have to learn to endure that need, endure the temptation, without breaking God's laws. And one of the best ways that you can get through that, and remember, all temptation passes after a while. It's not forever. It feels like it, but it's not. But keep that need as small as possible. In other words, if you can't have a sexual release for whatever reason, don't sit there and think about sexual things. Don't view porn. And of course, don't practice things like masturbation. Keep your need as small as possible. Don't feed that need, or that need's going to just get bigger and bigger. So if you have to endure, if you have to abstain sexually for whatever reason, sexual perversion, whatever, then keep the need as small as possible. Don't look at things that feed the need. Don't think things that feed the need. Don't do things that feed the need. And keep that need as small as possible. Number 8, pain always seeks pleasure. Just understand that if you have unhealed emotional pain from the past, or you have a chemical imbalance, it's always going to seek pleasure. So learn to admit that you have, some kind of pain in your life, and get help to relieve that pain in the right way, or it's going to automatically seek pleasure. And a lot of times it seeks destructive pleasure. So learn to meet it in the right ways, through God, through the right channels that He's given you. Number 9, only the truth can set you free. If you're not willing to live by the truth in God's Word, you'll never stay free, because it's the truth of God's Word and how He created things that you can read in the Bible, that you have to keep telling yourself the truth, just like Jesus did when He was tempted in the wilderness. You have to keep speaking God's truth, and that's what will get you free and keep you free. And only the truth will set you and keep you free. Anything less than that will probably lead to a relapse. So learn the truth of God's Word, and speak it to yourself every time you're tempted, every time that you have a problem, and that will keep you free. Only the truth sets you free. The lie will not set you free. It will keep you enslaved. Number 10, fear is the root of all addiction. Faith is the remedy to it. And if you go back honestly to what's been fueling your addiction, it's going to be fear, it's going to be pain from whatever. And only faith, being able to learn to trust God to be in control of your life and to help you, is going to be the remedy to it. It's not going to be a lot of things that the world thinks is the remedy. It's only going to be God and what God can do for you. When you trust God to be in control, you don't have to be in control of everything. And that's what happens, is people that are fearful control everything, they get into overload and they relapse. But somebody that can walk in faith can trust God to be in control. They can take their pain and their problems to God, and that faith will keep them from wanting to run to the idol of addiction to feel better. So those are just 10 things that can help you. I hope they've helped you a little bit. I'm sure there's many more that you can probably think of, but bless you, my friend. Have a wonderful day, and ask God to help you to walk in His recovery truths. Okay? Bye-bye.